Zdandani, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are talking about Volume 26 of My Hero Academia. And honestly, you've probably already read the title of this video, the Sadness Volume, or the Volume of Sadness. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call it, but the point is that this is a sad volume. Volume 26 is probably the saddest of all of the volumes so far in My Hero Academia, and probably even those that haven't come out yet. All of the ones that we have yet to see. There could be some that are close, but none really hit as hard as this one. But there are a few things that I should let you all know before you actually get into this volume. If you're not someone who is caught up with the manga via Viz or some other method, and basically you're using the manga books as your reference for all of this information, I actually recommend that you do not pick up this volume until March. At least if you're unless you're gonna really quickly subscribe briefly to Viz by using a 7-day thing, or actually subscribing, and then read through all of Vigilantes and My Hero to get caught up. But start with Vigilantes, actually. That's the first thing to note. But the reason I bring this up is because of the fact of Shirakumo's death. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but now that the volume is out, I think I can be a little bit more direct with this. Especially knowing the fact that now we know more about Aizawa's past and all of that stuff. Knowing that Shirakumo died is important. And who he is really important for the future of My Hero Academia. So reading that the Vigilantes volume 9 is really, really important. So I do recommend waiting until March to actually pick it up if you are only a manga fan. At which point, pick up this and Vigilantes, obviously, but you should also be picking up the new spin-off series, Team Up Missions, which are done by another team member of Horikoshi, who has helped it out in the past. So, yay! Honestly, I don't know much about what that's going to be about, but honestly, considering the fact that basically all of the spin-offs except for Smash are really good, I can't help but suggest that you at least read whatever it is and look up and find out more about this series. Because I, for one, am really excited to see what this has in store for us. Team Up looks really interesting, and I cannot wait to start reading it. I also hope that, of course, they bring back more school briefs, especially because there was so much space between certain chapters in this. Oh boy. But, yes. So, now that we've actually gotten that out of the way, let's actually talk about this volume and actually give the review, now that hopefully everyone who isn't going to be picking it, who hasn't read it, has left. And firstly, I just have to say that, holy crap, this, like I said, is a really sad volume. Starting off, we of course have just the arc, or basically continuing the Endeavor Agency arc. Everyone's working at the agency, getting better, becoming better heroes, and all of that stuff. We already knew that that was going to be a part of it, especially because of the stuff that happened at the end. But that's not the main focus of this volume. Instead, our main focus is actually Endeavor and Todoroki's family life. We get to see a lot of the information that has been kind of hidden for a while We get to see Endeavor's interactions with his son and daughter, who we don't get to see very much. Fuyami and I don't remember what his name is, but the two of them who hate Endeavor probably more than Todoroki does, which, holy crap, that is hard. They don't hate him as much as Dabi, but yeah, they hate him. And we also get to find out the information about Toya. Not necessarily all of it, because we all know that that's coming in the stuff about Dabi, but for right now, it's actually really hard. And we get to see that a lot of the reasons why they hate him, his life puts them on the line so much. It's not just the fact that, oh, he's a hero and he was awful, but it also, all of the things that he's done in the past have put them in harm's way and have really hurt their family dynamic, no matter how you look at it. And honestly, it's just sad. Because while we're seeing this for the first time, it's not just us who's seeing this. It's also Bakugo and Deku. And now they understand why Todoroki doesn't like his father and why it's so hard for him to actually make amends with him. They understand now a lot better than they ever could before. And that is a really important factor. And I really do believe that things are on the right track, if it wasn't for what's coming next with the war arc. Which, yes, that's starting up very soon in the manga. I know that a lot of fans, including myself, are really excited to actually start reading the war arc in the actual manga. Reading it right off the page, but in truth, the war arc is a hard arc. Probably the hardest of all of the arcs. I know that it's not the longest arc. It's not even close to the Hideout Raid arc in terms of manga, but I think for the anime, it may become the longest arc. While I don't necessarily think that they're going to skip out on everything in Season 5 to basically say, okay, you're going to go all the way to the end of the Endeavor arc, because that doesn't make sense. Even though the other arcs are really short in this season, I think having the Endeavor arc in next season is probably the most important factor. But it also means that we're going to have to wait and see exactly what's in store for the rest of the series. Honestly, this volume means a lot. And yeah, after we see Endeavor and Todoroki's home life, we then see everyone's new outfits, but we also see something worse. Shirakumo and Kurogiri. We finally find out that who Kurogiri is. He's a Nomu. And not just any Nomu, but he's a very important one to both Aizawa and Present Mike. He's their best friend. The friend that we've been seeing over and over again. Just small little bits. Seeing him in the background. Seeing his back. Seeing... Even in the anime, we've already seen him. Just a little bit. So brief, but so important. He's there. He is their best friend. He's the reason that Aizawa has his signature goggles. He's the reason why Aizawa is the way he is and why Present Mike is the way he is. Yes, they kind of had those traits back in high school, but they just grew more intense. Aizawa closed himself off because his best friend died. And President Mike just tried to be happier, to show his happiness as much as possible, to make sure that other people are happy, because now he has to carry that burden alone, because Shirakumo can't do it for him. This is why I tell people to not read Volume 26 before Volume 9 of Vigilantes. Because these facts are the reason why this hurts. They're the reason why finding out that Kurogiri is Shirakumo hurts so much, more than anything else in the series. We see the pain that lays within Aizawa. We see that he's sad, but due to the way that things work in My Hero Academia, we don't understand exactly how he feels. This is why he's hurting. This is the most important factor. Shirakumo was his best friend, and he was killed by a monster. And then another monster took his body and desecrated it by changing it into a monster of unimaginable power, stripping away everything that made Shirakumo Shirakumo. And as he cries out for help, there is nothing that he can do, because now the other part of him, Kurogiri, has complete control. And Shirakumo can't break out. I really want to see the future of this series and to see them get him out of there, making Kurogiri no longer Kurogiri, but instead Shirakumo, to become the hero he had always wanted to be. That is what I want to see. And that is what I hope, with all hope, that is what we will actually get to see eventually. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but I hope that it will happen. The rest of the chapters are important, to say the least. Seeing the interactions between the other classmates. Seeing the closer and closer we are to seeing these relationships start up. We know that soon Deku and Ochako are going to get together. And honestly, I feel like it's so much closer than we ever thought. Because when she eventually sees Deku lying on the operating table, she is going to realize that she doesn't have time to sit around and just wait to tell him. Because now she has to tell him how she feels, or else she's never going to get the chance. She may just never. She has feelings for him, and the same thing goes for Mina and Kirishima. We don't get to see the other relationships as closely, but we do know that things like Jiro and Kaminari are there. We know that there's some relationship brewing between Momo and Todoroki. We know that there's other relationships out there that are probably a lot closer than you think. But these ones are important, and we get to see their reactions, to see just the goofy laughs, the goofy smiles, knowing that these kids care for one another so much. Things have to happen soon, or they'll never get the chance. It's sad, but it's true. Unfortunately, after that, we have a time skip. Not a big one, but it's, considering how My Hero has worked in the past, it is a semi-big one. It goes from the end, around January, all the way to March in a very quick time. We now know that in this time, the heroes are training and all of this stuff, and basically things go smoothly on their end. But things aren't going to be going smoothly for much longer, because soon, very soon, the war arc will begin. The war against Shigaraki and the rest of the League of Villains is about to begin. And this war is not going to be one that very many people go away from. Those of us who've been reading ahead using Viz know that the latest chapter, or the latest chapters, have been the ones that have concluded this arc. We now know all of the deaths that have happened because of this war. We know that yes, the students survived, but so many other heroes, so many important heroes have lost their lives because of this war, and it's not over. The simple fact is that soon we'll be entering a new arc, a worse arc, the arc of escaping. This is the breakout arc that's coming soon on Viz and in Shonen Jump. No matter where you are, you will be able to read it soon, and that is terrifying to know. That soon, this war is going to become far greater than anyone even knew. I don't know how things are going to go for the right now, but I do know that no one is ready for what comes next. Before I go, I would just like to remind you guys that the war arc is intense. Obviously, these past few volumes have been intense, but it's not something that you've ever seen before. Many people have claimed that certain arcs are really intense, specifically the Hideout Raid arc. So much happens in that arc, and every time I see it, I'm just thinking to myself, why do you think that's intense? That is nothing compared to the war arc. The arc that's about to begin, and the arc that is about to hurt a lot of people. I, for one, am not ready, but I am excited, to say the least, to see what the future holds for My Hero Academia and Vigilantes. But anyways, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. And if you want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description, check out all of our links down there, including our social medias and ways that you can support us financially, including our Patreon, which a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. And of course, a big thank you to anyone who buys merch in the merch store. And also, please make sure that you leave theories and comments down in the comment section below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comments so that we can talk about it in a future video, or even just down in the comment section. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and are ready for the next arc of My Hero Academia. Badon!